Hi guys! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, change venue tayo ngayon kasi umuulan sa labas. Speaking of tag-ulan, our succulents are suffering from many fungal diseases due to this rainy season. So, we will be talking about one of them. Ito yung root rot. We will be tackling about the causes, its treatments, its preventions, and other things that you can do about root rot. So let's start with the common cause of root rot, which is the fungal pathogen genus of Phytophthora. This fungal diseases, root rot, is difficult to differentiate with the other fungal diseases kasi nga it has no specific symptoms na naipapakita sa ating succulent. So what are the reasons why fungal Phytophthora is present on our succulent? Number 1 is the pot has no drainage. Number 2, your soil is not well draining. As a result of those two, your soil will always be wet. How does that relate? How is that related to fungal diseases? Ang fungal diseases kasi mostly are attracted to wet surfaces. Kaya nga it happens mostly on rainy seasons. So, fungal diseases are attracted to wet surfaces because it is their natural habitat and it is where the molds grow. Thankfully, ang root rot, it does not happen overnight na yung matutulog ka and then pagising mo, namatay na yung plant mo. So, it happens gradually with step. It usually starts to the roots, going up to the stem, and eventually to the rosette. So, you can actually prevent your plant from dying. Sadly nga lang, there are no specific treatments on root rots. It is not even responsive sa ating mga fungicides na available, sa mga pesticide. It will not respond and it will not cure root rots. However, you can do some manual things like spotting some of the early signs of root rots. So, ano nga ba yung mga early signs ng root rots? Ito yung mga wilting of your plant, yung mga lupaypay na sila. And then, the next one is the change of color. When you have seen these signs, just like what I said kanina, yung mga wilting of plant, yung change of color, you might want to check immediately that specific plant by uprooting them and to see if the roots have dark brown, brownish na mga roots, and then some are black, and that's the time you know that you have to treat it early para hindi na siya mag-distribute doon sa taas. It will go eventually to the rosette and will kill your succulent or your cacti. Pag na-confirm nyo na merong root rot yung inyong mga succulent, so this is the time that you will prevent it. So, how will you treat it? Number 1, you can use the air drying technique. Ano tong air drying technique? You just have to uproot your plant and then put it somewhere that they can dry out for 2 to 3 days before you plant them again into dry soil. Pag naman na-distribute na yung rot doon sa stem, you have no choice than to cut the root off hanggang sa wala kayong makikitang black spot doon sa stem. Pag naman yung rot umabot mismo doon sa rosette, you have no choice than to behead your succulent. So, this is really effective, yung mga beheading. And then yung mga cutting, your succulent has higher chances to survive if you have air dried or you have let your cuttings dry out or callus for about 1 to 3 days. Pag nakat nyo na siya ng ganito, example, you have to let this side heal or become callous para hindi siya maka-absorb ng water pag ipaplant nyo doon sa new soil. Tungkol naman sa soil na pagtataniman nyo ng inyong mga cuttings, please do not reuse the soil mix that you have already used on the other plants. And when planting some cuttings, please do not put it or plant it on a wet soil. Please put it into nice and dry para makasurvive siya. When your succulent had suffered from root rot, you cannot really do much about it, given the fact that it is not responsive to any kinds of fungicide or pesticide. It is no use at all kung meron kayong root rot, except if na-spot nyo yung early signs ng rot, then you can save your plant. But if you spotted them really late, then you have to say bye to that specific plant. And however, you can do some preventions like number 1, use well-draining soil para the water that you will give to your succulent will run through at walang maiiwan doon sa bottom. Number 2 is to use pots that has drainage, especially for us beginners. Mas maliit yung chances na mag-overwater tayo kapag may drainage yung ating pots. Speaking of pots, I will recommend you to use porous pots like clay pots, cement pots. Bakit? Kasi these clay pots some of them absorbs the extra moisture that is present on the soil, leaving it much avoiding overwatering also. So the last one is to water your succulents or cacti properly. How do you water them properly? This is simply to allow them to dry out in between watering. So how will you check if they are dry? You have to do the finger test. How is this done? You have to put your finger down into soil, and if you see that there is moisture on your hand, then you can leave it for about 3 days or 2 days before watering again. So that is the things that we should know about root rot. So on the next video, I will talk about other fungal diseases like the black spots and other things na common ngayong tag-ulan. So ngayon lang for now. That's it for now, and I'll see you in the other video. Thank you!